of the party of Miss Annabelle Crump.
Unfortunately, Mother is busy at the moment and sends her apologies. The jellies haven't set properly.
So she's spraying them with hairspray.
And she's asked me to announce the winner of the Pin the Tail on the Corgi competition. And the winner is... Annabelle Crew!
No, it wasn't.
No, Annabelle, there were no winners. Look, everyone's a winner who took part. Now, I think we'd all like to continue listening to Chloe's diary.
This is ridiculous! No, I think they would much rather listen to Annabelle reciting all of my political policies in Arabic.
I'm sure they'd prefer to continue listening to Chloe's story.
Don't be ridiculous.
Well, let's put it to the vote.
Okay, prepare to lose. Who would like to hear Annabelle reciting my policies in Arabic? Put up your hand. Oh, yes, quite a few, isn't there?
And who would prefer to listen to Chloe's story? I think that was pretty decisive.
Well, I'm not prepared to listen to this drivel anymore.
I'm not enjoying my diary, Mother.
I do not like the way you're portraying me. You sound like a loud-mouthed, power-crazed, social climbing woman.
Surely not.
I know, husband, it's incomprehensible.
I've only written down what happened in real life.
Well, I don't like it.
Oh, come on, Chloe, let's continue with your story.
No, this is my birthday party, Father, and I make the rules.
Oh, come here.
Father, no! Jim, put me...
John, not in front of everybody. You're such a joker.
So, why don't we count to 5 again with our eyes closed so we can get back into the diary? Are you ready to close your eyes and count with me? Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Saturday night. I sneaked out and met Mr. Stink by the shed. It was one of those clear and beautiful nights where the sky was a blanket of Indian blue and the stars were a string of fairy lights. Come in. It's just a shed.
It's wonderful. This is unimaginably kind, dear Chloe. Thank you. There was only one thing wrong with the roof of my last home.
What was that?
There wasn't one. This is a palace.
Not really. And if it was, it would be an untidy one. I'm sorry about these boxes. It's just junk.
Other people's junk is so interesting.
Is it?
Oh, yes. One can tell such a lot about the people who used to own it. What their tastes used to be, if they're rich to be able to replace things, and whether they're sentimental, because they can't actually throw it all in the dustbin.
Well, there's just some old books in this one and, some bubbles. And in this one, a broken old guitar and a CD by some weird band called Serpents of Doom.
Oh, dear. One always finds the more elaborate the name, the worse the music. Judging by their hair, they look as if they'd just been electrocuted. I think this is quite an old, what do you call it?
A CD.
Well, I think in this case it stands for complete disaster.
I don't believe it, that's my dad. I never knew he was in a band.
As I said, you get to know people. Now, what must I do if I want a pot of tea or some sausage sandwiches? On white bread, of course, with HB sauce. And undoubtedly I shall require full English in the morning. Is there a bell I could ring?
And would sir require orange juice freshly squeezed in California?
Oh, I say, what a treat!
No, but do you see that window? That's my bedroom. If you flash this bike light at it, and I'll come and take your order.
Oh, delightful. Oh, and some dog food to the Duchess from Reggie's shop would be lovely. Are you right, my dear?
Yes, it's just a bit musty in here.
Is it?
When my parents are out, do you want to come and take a bath? We've got bubble bath and everything.
Oh, no, I don't think so. I'm not due another one for 8 months. I'll tell you what I could have, though.
What?
A bubble shower.
What's a bubble shower?
Oh, come on. The bubbles are lovely. Oh, there we go.
I wonder if anybody else has bubbles and they can bubble shower each other while I bubble shower Mr. Stink.
I'm forever bursting bubbles, pretty bubbles in the air. They fly so high, nearly reach the sky, and with their hair, all done for another year. No, I nearly forgot. I need to give you some money for the Duchess's food. Here is a 10-pence piece. You may keep the change.
Who's that?
Oh, nothing. Just a sentimental old photograph.
Can I see?
No. It's just a foolish picture. Just two people on their way to waltz away the evening. Please pay it no heed.
How do you waltz?
Lovely. Easy. I'll teach you. Now, a song to teach you with. I know. Now, here we go. Are you all right, my dear?
Yes.
All right. Now. Never mind, try again. From the top. After 2. 1, 2. The melody of my heart, a song just for you. One more time, I think you'll have it perfectly. 1, 2. The melody of my heart, a song just for you. That's telling of love true and tender. Oh, thank you, Miss Chloe. That was divine. It brought back so many wonderful memories.
I'm glad. Now I'll teach you one from the charts.
From the maps of the world?
No, pop music.
I'd rather stick pins in my eyes. Yeah, I'm too old to learn new dances anyway.
Well, there's no such thing as too old.
What wonderful philosophy. In which case, I have no choice but to comply.
I'll find some music. Maybe I can get this radio working. This one's my favourite. Come on. To start facing out, we're just going to step to the side. Like this. Even my dad does this one all the time.
I can do this. This is splendid.
Wait, it gets bigger. And
What?
we're going to do some shoulder work.
This is far too complicated.
Just 2 arms. Just do this.
I can cope with that.
We're going to slide. Other way. Like a dragon. You ready? This way. To the left. Right. All of it. You're going to pump the air.
Touching the air.
Yeah. And then run really fast.
This is a workout. This is not a dance. This is ridiculous. No, really, enough. Oh, heavens above.
You really were very good.
I'm sure I was appalling, my dear, but thank you.
I have to go back inside.
Yes.
I'll come see you in the morning. I hope you sleep well.
I shall sleep like a proverbial log in this lovely shed.
Good night, Mr. Stink.
Good night, my dear.
So, I crept back to the house. I was glad Annabelle hadn't come. She has got eyes in the back of her head, and her arms, and her legs, and her bum. So, I pretended to be tired and went to bed early. So I couldn't hear Annabelle say that she'd seen me in the shed. But she said nothing. That was to the following day. Sunday, the 25th.
What have you hidden in the shed?
Nothing.
I know you're lying.
How?
You gulp when you lie.
I do not.
You just did it. Anyway, what's in there? Is it your new boyfriend?
I haven't got a boyfriend, Annabelle.
Of course not. Boys don't go out with tubs of lard.
Shut up.
Oh, Chloe hit me.
Chloe, what have you done to her? Annabelle's down to the last 1,000 tomorrow for a casting at George and Astor. She has to look perfect.
Chloe's got something hidden in the shed.
I haven't got something hidden in the shed.
You didn't go.
Because I didn't lie.
I'm going to get beautified, Mother.
That should only take a second, dear. You're beautiful already. Husband, go and check that Chloe hasn't left anything in the shed. Chocolate if I know, huh?
She just said she hasn't.
Do as I say. I will not have answering back and such though. Now, Chloe, I want you to get ready. I have a very important journalist from the Times arriving shortly to interview me. And very soon, the whole country will know the politics of Croom. Did you give toast for breakfast?
Yes, Mother.
I thought so. Brush those breadcrumbs off your shirt.
Shouldn't that be bread crumbs?
I will treat that remark with the contempt it deserves. So, what is she hidden in the shed?
Oh, nothing.
What?
There's no thing hidden in the shed. I searched everywhere.
Well, I'm going to get ready. Put on a bow tie, please, husband. And Chloe, just do something.
Dad, did you really not find anything?
Oh, nothing, no. Oh, apart from a very pongy tramp snoring away on the floor. But the pong was pongy. Extremely pongy.
I wanted to tell you, honest I did, but he needs a home.
I know he does, but your mother will go nuts if she finds out.
Oh, no.
Then these are our secrets. But you know I've lost my job, and I know you're shouting Mr. Stink in the shed.
I love you. Dad,
Yeah?
how did your guitar get broken?
Your mother smashed it up.
No.
Yeah, she said it was time for me to move on with my life. But the serpents of doom were never going to make it, so I got a job at the car factory.
But you had an album.
Yes, love, but we only sold 12 copies, and your grandmother bought 10 of them. Though, we did get into the charts with one song, though.
Top 10?
Almost, number 98.
I'm still proud of you, Dad.
Come, do enter the drawing room.
It's the lounge.
Ha-ha! My husband, such a wag. We value humour very highly in our family. Of course, my family is the most important thing to me. My husband, my beautiful daughter Annabelle, and what's her name?
Chloe.
Do be seated.
Thank you, Mrs. Crow.
It's Crew.
Can I ask if your family would come before the country?
Well, obviously, the country would come first. However,
I see. Now, I'd like to discuss some of your policies.
Well,
Beginning with the homeless. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Oh, she will.
But you're on record as saying that all homeless people should be taken off the streets.
Absolutely. The good people of this country do not want somebody...
Excuse me for interrupting, but please, could I have my breakfast?
Who on earth is this? This is Mr. Stink. He's the tramp that lives in our shed.
What the... Husband!
Well, I had you wrong, Mrs. Croom. What a wonderful woman you are. I didn't realise that drive the homeless off our streets meant drive them into our homes and let them live with us.
Well,
I can assure you that I am going to write an absolutely glowing report on you. I shall entitle it Lady and the Tramp. It'll make the front page. With policies like this, you could become the next Prime Minister.
My sausages
the Prime Minister!
and poached eggs
And I'm sure Prince Charles will be a big fan.
and tomatoes, not overly done, please.
And Prince William.
And fried bread, 5 slices, please.
Well, What did you want?
Well, my sausages to begin with.
In that case, how many sausages, my good friend who lives in my shed and hardly stinks at all?
No more than 9.
Then 9 you shall have, my extremely close and beloved friend. Yes, Miss Stern, it was all my idea.
No, it wasn't.
No more homework for the rest of the holidays, Chloe. How does that sound?
Oh, it sounds great.
Yes, at first my family was dead against it. But I just had to give this poor, filthy, flea-ridden, dirt-encrusted, stomach-turning, smelly old tramp a home. I love him dearly. He's like part of the family now. If only other people were as kind-hearted as me, then we'd have no more homeless people left. Now, let me go and fry those sausages for you.
So, Mr.
Stink.
Appropriate, what's it like living here?
Nice. But I warn you, the service is painfully slow. Would you like some sausages?
That'd be lovely.
Then let me escort you to the kitchen. Yes, I'm very poor, but happy nonetheless.
I was angry. I was really angry. I wanted to hide her hairspray and give her a fright. Then I got to thinking, why is she like this? Why does she always have to be right? It's because she's insecure. Insecure people always shout, and they pretend to be right when they know that they're wrong, so you can't get your own argument out. And they can never admit their faults. I know I'm a bit fat and not very pretty, and I don't mind saying that. But they can't, and that's a pity, because I'd rather be normal and nice, unlike Rosamond, who's beautiful and bad. Mr. Stink was right. Why would I want to be her friend? She would be the worst friend I ever had. Sunday lunchtime. Mother's mobile rang unexpectedly. Her face looked very sinister. But she really needn't have worried. It was only the Prime Minister. He told her he was impressed by her policy on the homeless and wanted her to appear on Question Time. That's a TV show about politics. And she thought that would suit me just fine. She said she would be
Utterly delighted.
that she knew success and fame beckoned, that this was the most wonderful moment of her life. A moment that lasted 10 seconds. He said, I also want Mr. Stink to appear on the programme with you. She should have shut up. As usual, she didn't, and she got herself right in a stew. And in the end, she said,
I agree. He should appear with me.
but as she put the phone down, her face wore a very deep frown. Monday, the 26th. Mother spent 5 hours at the hairdresser's. She usually only spends 4. Dad disappeared. I didn't know where until I opened the stairs cupboard door. Dad? What are you doing in there?
Hiding from your mother. If she finds out I've lost my job, my life won't be worth living. Well, even less than it is already.
But I thought I heard you leave this morning.
I did. I went out the back door, round the garden, in the front door, and into the cupboard. And I've been here ever since. Is your mum back from the hairdresser's?
Yes, she just got back. Her hair looks like a wedding cake.
Yeah.
Can I get you anything?
Do you know
Who
what?
on earth are you talking to?
No one. Just my imaginary friend who lives in the cupboard. She's very shy.
Oh,
What was that?
No one. Me. It was me. I do the voice for my imaginary friend who's called Crumbelina.
You should get some proper friends. When you
Crumbelina.
finish this stupid game, I need some help.
Yes, Mother. I'm sorry, Dad.
it's all right, darling. You did the right thing.
What are you going to do? You can't stay in here all the time.
I know, and I'm desperate for the loo. But would you mind standing guard while I pop upstairs?
Hurry! I need your help. It's important that I look my absolute best this evening. What on earth is that?
This is my school science project. It's called Living Light.
It's a terribly ugly looking thing.
What?
Crumbelina.
Well, put it away and come into the lounge.
Yes, Mother.
Thank you, Chloe. You're a lifesaver. Oh,
What are you going to do? You can't carry on like this.
I know. Do you reckon you could get me a brown shade? I think it would suit my colouring better. Now, you go join your mum, and I'm going to try and sneak out. Yeah? And Chloe, thanks for being a fabulous daughter.
Tuesday, the 27th. The TV studio sent a car, and I sat in the back feeling like a star. And although Mr. Stink had been bubble showering, we opened the windows as the smell was overpowering. Mother and Mr. Stink went to get ready. Only Mother came back. I thought it was weird, as just before the show was about to begin, Mr. Stink had disappeared.
Would you like a little touch-up?
No,
Are you sure?
absolutely.
Something new?
Good evening, and welcome to Question Time with me, Sir David Squirt. Tonight, election special. On my left, Miss Lydia Lefty. And on my right, Miss Janet Crumb.
Croom!
Croom. And later tonight, we will have our guest, one Mr. Stink, a tramp whom Mrs. Croom has kindly allowed to live with her.
Publicity stunt.
Please, Miss Lefty, let's leave the accusations till later in the program. Tonight we will be discussing the important issues of the day and how they will be affecting voting patterns in the upcoming election. At the end, I, Sir David Swirt, will decide who exactly...
Are you wearing makeup?
Yes, we have to, for the camera.
Very nice. Subtle touch on the eyeshadow.
Who exactly are you?
Forgive my manners. Lovely to meet you, Sir Donald. I'm Mr. Stink. Frightfully sorry to be late, but I was in the lavatory, you know. Normally I do my number twos first thing in the morning, but I had to make sandwiches when I arrived here. I think that must have done it. And of course, I don't get much warning at my age. Do you have that problem, Sir Duncan? Is this the camera? Are we on?
Yes.
Hello, Duchess! Can you see me? I hope you're being a good lady. I'm just saying hello to my dog, Sir Doris.
My name is Sir David. Not Donald, not Duncan, and certainly not Doris.
I'm so sorry. It must have been the blusher.
Please take a seat, Mr. Stink. We're about to start an important discussion.
Of course I will, Sir Doreen.
First topic of the day is homelessness, Miss Lefty.
Homelessness was created by the other party. When we come to power, we will impose a posh accent tax. Anyone who sounds like they swallowed the box set of Downton Abbey will pay £1 million towards solving the homeless crisis.
Oh, okay. Mr. Stink, a subject close to your heart, yes.
If I may be so bold, I would venture that part of the problem stems from the fact that we're seen as statistics rather than people.
Oh, yes, do continue.
We all have our own story to tell. Each one of us has a different reason for being homeless. If the good folk in the audience tonight and those people watching at home were to stop and talk to the homeless people in their town, they would realize that.
Yes! And that's exactly what I did. I just stopped to talk to this old tramp one day and, well, it was just natural to ask him to come and live with my family. I've always put others before myself. I suppose it's always been my downfall.
That's not exactly true, though, is it, Mrs. Crumb?
I'm sure I don't know what you mean, my extremely good friend who doesn't smell like a Victorian sewer.
It wasn't you who invited me in, was it?
This is simply not
Who
what we
exactly
should be
invited
discussing.
you to live with the family, Mr. Stink?
It was Mrs. Crumb's daughter, Chloe. She's only 12, but she's an absolutely fantastic girl. Quite one of the sweetest, kindest people I've ever met. You know, she should come up on stage and take a bow. She's just there in the audience.
No, I absolutely forbid it.
Please, Mrs. Croom, this is not your show. I think we'd all like to meet this extraordinary young girl. Chloe, come up and take a bow. Oh, what a delightful young girl.
You should be very proud, Mrs. Crumb, though I fear you are not.
Mrs. Crumb, why did you lie? Was it purely to further your own political ambitions?
Well, as if anyone would want that smelly old tramp in their house. You can't smell him at home, but believe me, he reeks. He smells like a sewage farm on a hot day. Boo! Stop it! Stop it! Stop it! Stop it! I will not be booed, such as...
Well, I guess that brings us to the end of tonight's program. You could say, crumbs, what a show. Until next week, good night. Thank you, Miss Lefty. Thank you, Mr. Stink. Profound words indeed.
It was a pleasure, Sir Daisy. Now, do you have any of those egg sandwiches left, perchance?
So, Mr. Stink returned to his new home a TV star. To be a fan of his was a must. People stopped washing and showering. Boots and Superdrug went bust. He'd been a huge hit on the programme. The country spoke as one. People liked him because he was open and honest, and because he liked to have fun. Wednesday, the 28th, crowds gathered outside our house, all shouting Mr. Stink's name, and then all holding up banners. I was amazed so many came.
Now, Duchess, if you're very good, you can have an extra sausage as long as I have my 9, of course.
Good morning, Mr. Stink.
Good morning, Clary.
Morning, Duchess.
The newspapers appear to be full of a homeless person called